Hi.
Hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás, Bricia?
I'm superb. Don't you look at me?
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us
Hi.
again to the first Taco Tuesday of 2025.
Yes, it's the first Taco Tuesday.
How's the year going so far for you, Bricia?
It's going amazing. I am in charge of taking attendance of this aceleradora from Baja California. I'm having so much fun and learning.
Ooh, you're learning a lot
I
and
know.
meeting really cool people.
See, did you notice the product placement?
That was good. That was good.
I know. Yeah,
So, what are we cooking today? I'm just so glad I'm not the one cooking because I'm always stressed when I'm cooking. So, what are we cooking today, Mom?
I just understand you now because I'm usually like chilling and drinking my beer.
Yeah.
And I was like chopping things and doing things. So I'm going to introduce you because I was a good girl and I was really tidy and I prepared everything before we started. By the way, Jacobo, can you share the link of the Taco Tuesday in the devs group because Paola is asking for the link. Thank you. You're so kind. Okay, so today we're gonna make tacos, obviously, because it's Taco Tuesday. But we're gonna make shrimp tacos. We're going to
Green
prepare,
tacos.
yeah,
Ooh,
we're gonna make a Baja style kind of taco.
of course, Baja style. The
Yeah,
best tacos.
yeah, we adopted like right away here in Mazatlan. So we're gonna make a Mexican pico de gallo sauce,
Ooh.
but I'm going to add avocado because we all love avocado.
I don't. I must be the only Mexican in the world that doesn't like avocados.
What's going with you? Who hurt you so much?
I don't know. Maybe my mom dropped me when I was a little kid.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're gonna use tempura, Japanese tempura, which is amazing because you just drop beer and it's crispy and yummy. You can find it
Beer.
anywhere in the world. So the
You
whole
drop beer, you said?
yeah, with beer.
Now I want a beer.
the crust is crispy, and when you eat the taco, it makes this crunchy sound.
Ooh.
I know. So we're gonna use
Just because
tempura.
of the sound, I'm gonna go grab a beer.
It's so good. We're gonna
So,
use
do you
beer.
know who our guest is? Oh my god, you have a beer like Kawama. Do you
Yes,
know who our guest today is?
French. Yes, of course.
The amazing Dr. Jakin Vela.
Ooh.
Ooh, please welcome Mr. Dr. Jakin Vela. Jakin!
Hello, hey everybody. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I forgot to send my last minute social media call, so I'm doing that right now on Facebook and LinkedIn.
We're doing the
Oh
same.
no. Thank you, Jakin, for taking time off of your extremely busy agenda to be here with us talking about Mexican tacos and Mexican games. Jakin is an
I'm
awesome
here for
person.
it.
He's one of the persons that I love the most in the industry. He's executive director for the International Game Developers Association, which for me is the coolest, the biggest, and the baddest
Of them
association out
all.
there in the world. And we really love working with IGDA, and I really love working with Jakin. Thank you so much, Jakin, for being here with us.
The sentiment is the same on my side. Thank you so much for having me. And the IGDA would not be what it is without the amazing leaders and volunteers like you all to make it as amazing as it is. So I'm honestly just honored just to be a part of today's chat, today's cooking, learn a little bit more about the Mexican industry for video games. And I'd love to see how you make your tacos because as Mexican myself, I like my tacos. In fact, I'm having tacos today for dinner
Oh,
because
really?
Taco Tuesday.
You say.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. So I'd love to learn what you put in your tacos, how you make them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
come
I'm
on.
putting the sauce together really quickly.
Mm,
So it's tomato, onion, and coriander with a bit of avocado,
mm,
lime, and salt. I'm gonna continue. Let you talk while I keep on cooking.
perfect. Yeah, so that's that pico de gallo that I love so much on my tacos, on really pretty much anything. I'm huge on making homemade waka or guacamole, and I put onions, tomatoes if I can, but my partner doesn't like tomatoes, garlic salt, lime juice freshly
Oh,
squeezed. hits the spot.
I was telling Brizia, Jake, that I must be the only Mexican that doesn't like avocados.
Bird. What happened?
I don't
What did
know.
avocados do to you?
I used to eat them when I was a little kid. But
Mm,
out of a sudden, maybe I ate too much aguacate
yeah.
and I just stopped liking it. And then I can certainly eat it like every once in a while. It's not that I actually dislike it.
Mhm.
It's just maybe I become numb to the flavor of the avocado or the
Yeah.
guacamole, and it just doesn't taste anything for me anymore. And then I say, like, then why do I bother putting in more? So I just put more salsa, and lemon and salt and yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I have to say, my mom grew up in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. So
Oh,
she grew
yeah.
up with avocados, like on an avocado farm with her grandparents. So avocados have always been a big part of, my own family growing up, food, put it on as much as we can. And yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with avocados. I could eat them every day, honestly.
So tell us a little bit about you, Jakin, and the
Okay.
IGDA. What do you do? How do you see the industry?
Oh, that's starting with the big questions. All right, so let me start with. I'll tell you a little bit about me, so that folks who are tuning in, know who's even talking. So my name's Jakin, or Jakin in Espanol, but your audience is worldwide. So yeah, I go by all sorts of names in various parts of the world. Like you were with me in Brazil earlier this year, so a lot of our friends call me Jaquinho over there. So I go by anything, but
I like it.
I love it. It's a very endearing name.
I'm
But
gonna start
essentially,
calling you Joaquin.
Joaquin. No, not no Hua. There's no you. There's no you. Hakim. But yeah, so I actually, let's see, what about me? I've been in various industries. So the games industry is the latest industry that I have become a part of as a professional. And I joined the industry maybe back in 2017, 2018. And I've always been a gamer my entire life. Been playing video games since I can remember on like Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all of that. And what drew me to game development as a career is actually the movement for representing more inclusive and diverse content in games. There's a large movement in 2014 that was really trying to diversify voices in gaming. And that really inspired me. And I went into games initially as a researcher. So I'm a sociologist by trade. I have my PhD in sociology. And I studied the impact of video games on society, both on like a societal level, like how games can increase our sense of belongingness, our well-being, but also I studied game developer networks and the impact of diversity, inclusion, and equity in conferences and how that impacted game developers in their professional development. And so that got me into games. And then yeah, gosh, I lost track of where I was going with that, but that's a little bit about me. But that's like
that is an amazing job. I mean, I can see all around of all the events that we've seen each other. We've seen at GDC, we've seen at Gamescom Latam, we've seen Cologne and Gamescom and DevCon, and every time I see more minorities just being there and making games, and
yes.
I keep seeing more Mexicans all over the place. And I remember when I started going to GDC about a little bit more than 10 years ago, I will only find like 3 or 4 Mexicans there. Now, I think last GDC we went there, we were like 70, 80 Mexicans going to GDC, something like that. And all the work of making it possible for other minorities or people that want to make games, and the different percentages of men and women. I mean, I see more women out there in industry in Mexico. That is one of the things that I really like about the industry in Mexico. Is now that I work a lot with Bricia, and I work a lot with Jessica,
Not only I just cook, I also help
to
them.
Isabel, to I really love the game that did Paola that we're gonna talk about it. So I can
When
see
you
a lot
do
of
say
women
hi to
in
the
Mexico.
audience, they are like, "Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys." So we have Macula
Oh,
here.
there's
We have
Diana.
Diana
Paco Rodriguez, always
Sketchy
with us.
Ceviche.
Oh, Tiachi Games. Hello, hello. I remember
Yeah,
them.
they're here. Say hi. You got a
Yeah,
lot of participants.
awesome. Good to see you all. But yeah,
So
no,
that
you're absolutely right. There has been an increase, and I think a lot of that has to do with the intentional distribution of opportunities and
yes,
democratizing those opportunities for various regions. Because ultimately, that games are, I'm preaching to the choir here, but games are a global thing. It's a global
yeah.
industry, and you have to play the game globally if you really want your game to succeed. It can be a
Yeah.
hit in your local region, but you have to think beyond your regional boundaries. And so
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see the increase in attendance at events, despite how costly they can be and
Oh yeah.
They're
challenging they can be to
super
get to.
costly. Actually, we
But it-
should get like discount. We should like ask as a global IGDA, like, come on, airplane.
Yes, that's a good point. So at IGDA, we provide a discount to certain events around all around the world, like GDC, Dice, etc. We have typically 10 to 15 to 20% discounts for IGDA, but yeah, I can tell more the folks here more about IGDA if that makes sense.
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
go ahead.
I'm just about
Awesome.
to cook the shrimp, so I'm going to dunk them in the tempura, and then I'm going to
Ah.
fry them.
Ooh, what kind of oil do you use for frying the shrimp?
I'm going to use tart because it's bad to eat like seed oil.
Okay.
But you're a vegetarian, right?
Vegan.
I mean, vegan. I'm sorry. Well, I'm
Vegan.
not. We can make something vegan next time, maybe. I didn't think this through.
Oh my gosh, no, you're fine. I am not that kind of vegan. My partner eats meat and fish and all the other things. So,
Okay.
but no, that's exciting. So you said you're not going to use seed oil. Seed oil, no seed oil.
Now I'm going to use like the pork fat.
Lard,
Lard.
manteca, right? Is that?
Yeah.
mhm.
If you cook with that, it's better for your arteries, which is funny. We thought it was the total opposite, but capitalism.
I did not know that. We use
Yeah.
a lot of manteca, or I used to when we made tamales, growing up. So,
Oh my
It's
God, it's
that's
been
where they taste
years since I used manteca.
well,
better.
this,
So,
this year I used Crisco, like just vegetable
oh,
shrimp.
Crisco. Yeah. So we're going to talk about three Mexican games today,
I'm
and
excited.
I think I I really like the games we're gonna be showing today. I mean, I like all the games we show, but I think as we move on with Taco Tuesday, there's a lot more reach of what we're trying to do with the games we are showing, and I'm really excited to show the games that we're doing today. So, and they're very unique, similar. I mean, very unique things that have these games. So let's go take a look at the first one called Panadero, the bread guy.
I love the name.
I know it's
Who
amazing.
doesn't love bread?
I
I'll
know.
take the advantage to go grab a
Yeah,
beer to be drinking beer with my mom while we see the
you're
trailer.
drinking beer with me with the
Jacobo,
taco.
please help us with the trailer.
Wow.
That is amazing. But the art, I really like it. The gameplay, the visual effects, the music. What do you think, Jakin?
It brought me back to a time when I would want to do nothing but play like side scrollers, like Mega Man X or something like that. For
Metal
whatever
Slug,
reason, yeah, it
Contra.
just exactly. It just made me go back to that time, and I'm like, okay, now I want to know where this idea came from. What is there more meaning behind the art style and the characters? Yeah, it's very
Well,
interesting. I liked
the,
it a lot.
the inspiration from what the developers told us is it's he wanted to portray in a video game everything that for the developers were special when we were growing up, like the Santos movies, like the whole culture of Mexico. It's a potpourri of different things that we grew up with, like platform games, like Contra, like Metal Slug, like a Caliman, El Santo, Blue Demon versus the Guanajuato Mummies. All of those is what the Mexican culture really inspired to be made to make Panadero. So, and I think it is
Awesome.
great. I mean, it's super fun. It's inspiring in certain ways, and I really like the art. I just can't get
Yeah,
over
oh
the art.
yeah.
It's quite
It's
different,
amazing.
huh?
I mean, very different, very eye-catching, but also I don't know, there's a lot of passion you can just see from the art style in and of itself.
And
It's so cool.
the developer, which is Sketchy Ceviche, is based in
Yeah,
Tokyo.
he's here with us. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Amazing.
So
The
to
sorry,
the
sorry, go ahead.
so do you know that this game was made in Linux? Like Linux?
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
That's
cool.
I mean, this is the first time I actually hear that someone says that they did their game in Linux. I don't know how you
Hmm.
pronounce it in English.
Yeah. I
But I
wonder
mean,
what
usually it's
distribution they
either
were using.
Godot or Unity or Unreal, but this is Linux. I mean, and that is a first for me. And wow, they did an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have not touched a Linux keyboard in years, like seriously, in decades.
It's been a while for me. I used to have a Linux setup, but I got a new computer and I went the Mac route for this time because it had everything I
Oh,
needed.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry, not sorry.
what do
I
you
just
think of
love
the
it.
game, Bricia?
I really like it. I think it's really unique. I particularly like we usually see like Mexican stories more focused like on Aztecs or like legends. And this one, he was like, no, I'm going to use the Mexican,
I
kind of.
think I'm pretty sure Sketchy Ceviche in his room has a huge picture of Tintan, Panadero con el pan. Everyone knows
Yeah,
that song. Come on.
that one. It was
Yeah,
so
of
Ah,
course. Yeah.
interesting. So they built it with the Godot engine on Linux, but still like using a Linux system to work in. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We need more stories like that.
So the game has been published in Nintendo Switch. I think one of the challenges that he mentions is actually porting to Switch. But I think one of the when I was reading the explanation of how they did the game, one of the greatest thing that connected to me is the stubbornness of a 40-year-old person. So it's like, what was the challenges? How do you overcome them? And then he pretty much set a couple of problems there, and especially mainly about switching, porting to Nintendo Switch.
Mhm.
But then at the end, he ends with, "But thanks to the stubbornness of the 40-year-old person, we did it." And I'm like, wait a
yeah,
minute, that resonates with me. I mean, I'm close to the 50-year-old person, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
my 40s has been uh, a really interesting trip of stubbornness on getting things done. It's like nobody tells me no, I'm gonna freaking do
Yeah.
that.
And porting's no joke. I mean, it's very challenging. I mean, whole groups, whole studios, their sole focus is just helping other studios port their game to another system. And then the requirements, the verifications, it's a lot. So congratulations to the studio for getting that out there and getting on Nintendo. I mean, that's an accomplishment.
How are we
built-
doing there, mom?
building Godot engine. So I'm not sure if he's a solo developer.
No, he mentioned that he has help from several people. I mean, he started alone, but then he got help from many people from different parts, and if I remember correctly. So
Okay, I
yeah,
can introduce you some of my tacos now.
okay.
Yes, yes. Let's see how they're coming out.
So these are tacos capeados de camarón. And then when you prepare them, you put a little bit of sauce and then some ranch. It should be like tartar sauce, but I don't know how to make it. I'm sorry. I'm a busy mom. So I'm gonna
Everybody.
use ranch if I can ever open it. Okay.
You did it! Yay!
Yay!
There you go.
So reading
What
through
are
through
these?
Nice. Very nice.
so
Oh,
reading
okay.
through
Yeah.
Sketchy Ceviche's information, one of the things that I really like about him as well is the message he sends to all the developers, and he pretty much says, just do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't the circumstances are never going to be perfect. You either start making your
Never.
games today or you will
Yeah.
never do it. So I think that's a very important message that coming from Sketchy
Wow.
Ceviche to all Mexican developers is just do it. It's just like Nike does it, right? It's not
Yep.
Nike is not a sponsor, but I just said it, just do it, just go
Mhm.
for it. I mean, there's no better time to start making games. For this is the time for indie developers. I mean, I was reading
Oh
some of
yeah.
the article from late. I mean, it talks about 2024, and it's just the time for indie developers. I mean, all the tools, all the associations are there to help you.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
easy to be
IGDA.
successful making an indie game,
Yes,
but
IGDA
but,
for sure.
but anyone can actually start making games right now. It's
Oh
just the
yeah.
tools are just there. I mean, the
So
even
what
self
support is
publishing.
there for those who wants to start in IGDA, Jakin?
Yeah, yeah. I was actually just gonna say, just going on to Ugo's talk on why now is the perfect time for indies. Really, I think indies save us from boring games that are made over and over again. I won't name any names, but indies is where the creativity happens.
I can
Indies
name
is
like
where
three.
Ah, I said I won't name them, not that I can. But indies really is where I think the magic is. It's the creativity, the authenticity of just pure passionate game development. And right now, there are so many opportunities to get involved. Like the developers said that they use Godot engine. You can download Godot right now and just take the introductory, tutorial and make a little side scroller with like the already implemented art, 2D art and animation embedded in there that you can probably pull from their tutorial files or find a YouTuber who's created tutorial videos and just create something. And then once you start getting the engines under your tool belt, start experimenting, start doing your own thing, put your own little twist, and eventually you'll have the capabilities, technical capacities, and creative vision to start making your own games. And there's a lot of opportunity right now, so it can be overwhelming. So to Bree's point, like how can you get started? Well, the first thing I would say is you don't have to start alone. You can start with people who are in the same boat as you or people who are maybe just a step ahead of you. And to find those people, you can look at IGDA, the International Game Developers Association. We've been around for 30 years as an organization, as a professional association for game developers. We have various chapters all around the world, several in Mexico. So I think I don't want to flood your email inboxes, but if I'm sure y'all would be willing to help people get connected to their local chapters in Mexico. But outside of Mexico, there's so many chapters we have all across the U.S., Europe, Africa, across the Middle East, everywhere. So if you think of a place and you wonder if IGDA has a chapter, you can look at our website and see. And if we don't have a chapter, you can reach out and we can help get it started.
Nice.
But yeah, so the developer said moral support. That's certainly helpful whenever you're developing something. Find
Yes.
people who want to make games. Don't do it alone. Unless you're a loner and you just want to do everything by yourself, that's okay too. I don't like that approach because I like to feed off of energy and people and ideas. I don't like to sit in my little corner and just do everything. But yeah, so
Yeah, Sketchy Ceviche
Yeah.
said that he did the coding, port, drew the animation, showed at conventions, also published him himself, but he has help
Amazing.
from music for localization and moral support.
Yes,
That's
and
very important.
That's a very important one. But yeah, so
Yeah,
IGDA is a great opportunity to find people, learn more about game development if you're newer, and just get your foot in the door.
and there's
And also,
always there's the good
April.
there's the goods and bads about an indie developer, right? Of course, there's the bad is always getting funding, right? Because it's one of the
Mhm.
biggest challenge when you're an indie developer. But the good part is that you're your own boss. You're your own creative director. You can get away with making a game that connects emotionally to the gamers in a way that most of the AAA cannot do it because they have to play it safe in so many ways. But when you're an indie developer, you can just do these things. And I really like, and I think one of the things that I love about more about playing some of the indie games out there is just the narrative, the story, the characters. I really get to love them.
Yeah, no, it's a shame they don't get more light shined on them. I mean, there are plenty of festivals and award shows now that do showcase the amazing work that indie developers do, but they don't. We're still working up to really get the critical acclaim for some games that really just deserve it. But to your point about just the overall aspect of being an indie developer, I would say, yeah, it's a pro to be your own boss, but that also takes a lot of discipline, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
it takes a lot of work that you might not have done before. So it's hard to set
You have no idea
deadlines.
how to make.
Yeah. And so it can be hard to set deadlines and follow through with them and not say like, oh, well, I'm doing my own thing. So kudos to everyone who completes a project, who ships a game. It doesn't matter where it's at in terms of comparison, in terms of quality or length or story depth. The fact that you get a game done is a huge accomplishment in and of itself.
yeah. And like Sketchy Ceviche says, every indie developer that creates a game, it puts a little pieces of its culture, its roots, its life. I mean, that's what the indie developers we would like to put into our indie games. It's just a little bit part of us.
And a representation, right? Because we've seen it,
Yeah.
like Hugo mentioned at the beginning. Yes, we found more Mexicans last year in DevCom. It was really nice because the first time that I went there, which was 2023, was like, oh, Mexico, where is it?
Mm.
It was like funny because usually people, well, sometimes our country is infamous because of cartel series and things like that. But it was so cool to get there and introduce these games and to see that some of the games, particularly one that we're going to introduce today, was already there representing Mexico with the Mexican culture.
Amazing. That's a huge accomplishment to get to
Wow.
GDC and showcase your game.
Oh yeah,
Very
it's not easy, especially when how expensive it is to go to GDC these days.
Oh my goodness, yes, but and it's also back to your point about the money. It's like you want to showcase these games, maybe get a publisher to help localize other languages, other regions to help just with the lift that is getting your game out there and purchased.
I already ate it. They're asking about the tacos, like have the shrimp cubes and chelita. Don't be brown. Maybe without over.
You didn't give us time to order Uber Eats and get some tacos from you all the way down
I
here.
ate them. I was so hungry, but I have more if you want.
Yeah, I'll take a talk.
Are you currently in Seattle, Jakin, or where are you right now?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
In Dallas, okay.
So
All
not
right.
not
So
too terribly far.
let's take a look at our next game. I'm really excited to present this game because I know the developer really well. He's from Baja California, my home state that I really love, and I really like the game. So please, Jacobo, help us put on the trailer for Team.
1 sec. It's not charging. Okay, I'm going to introduce you the taco that I finished. Well,
Okay.
I have my.
Well, we fixed some technical details.
I'm showing
We
the
just talk
taco.
about the taco.
Let
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
We're going to add the shrimp. One, two. Then we put some pico de gallo. I just love avocado. I could eat avocado every day.
Oh my God, I don't.
Yeah.
And then the ranch. I prefer ranch than tartar, honestly.
What about the salsas and the
This
mayonnaise?
is your home state style. Don't come and get me. I'm trying to honor you.
So
Trying
we're
to do
going
something good for Hugo.
we're going to show the other game while we fix the technical difficulties we have with them. So this game, I love history, so I'm also excited to present this one. So let's give kudos for the game called Mexico 1921 from Macula Interactive.
It's so pretty.
Let's go see the trailer.
Yo firmé mi sentencia hace 4 años con esa nota.
Cuidado, mijo.
Culparán al pueblo en otra puesta en escena.
¡Hay sitio para todos!
Hay algo en el horizonte, una revolución total. Un gran sistema opresor se está formando y no estamos listos.
La historia olvida las palabras, pero atiende a la magia de las obras.
Se siente la tensión acá. Finalmente la creación de la Secretaría de Educación Pública.
¿Por quién estamos aquí? ¡Por los pueblos!
En esta patria muda, perseguida, donde hasta el aire mismo va a dolernos. El presidente va a morir. Cuidado con México, porque todo está a punto de cambiar.
Una fotografía es un testimonio certero pero fugitivo. Es otra forma de recordar.
La tinta relata secretos.
No hay más que 2 clases de hombres: los que destruyen y los que construyen.
Juan Aguirre, ese hijo de la chingada. Avisa que voy para allá.
Escucha bien, Juan. Estás en la boca del lobo.
Wow,
Wow.
that was
indeed.
amazing.
It's a work of art, just the video game itself.
All the music, the art, the voices, the acting, everything is just incredible about this game. I love it.
Mhm.
They
And
even
whoever
showed
made the trailer, oof, that trailer
Yeah,
is
exactly.
perfect.
the
whole
music.
thing behind it.
Loved it.
And it just they share my passion for history. I love history. That's one of the things that I read the most. And man, just the patriotism behind the shouts at the end, the Viva Mexico, all that's just gave me goosebumps all over the place. I really love it. Great job, Paula, and your team. Amazing.
Yeah, so beautiful. Great art direction. That, like you said, Ugo, the music that just like gives me chills just hearing it. It's so good. And that voice acting, all of it. I'm very,
Yeah.
very impressed. I want to get my hands on it.
Yeah,
You know, it's so cute because the musician that created the music, they composed the music, she's a very talented woman that she works for different projects in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
But she's like a heavy metal fan, like hardcore. She's even a
Nice.
judge of festivals and everything. And then you hear this so sweet. It's like total opposite, right? The Jing Yang.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome. She sounds like
Nice.
a very, very cool person.
She's yeah. I'm a metalhead as well. Maiden is my favorite band of all times. One of the greatest. One of my most hobbies that I have is going to concerts, and I think Iron Maiden I've seen them like 20 times live. I mean, probably every single year after 1997, I see Iron Maiden live. I love it.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot you were a metal fan. That's good. Good to remember.
Yeah. So Paola was telling us that one of the greatest thing about working on this game is that their office is really close to Zocalo in Mexico City, so they will go out sightseeing as a research activity to look at the place and start imagining how the scenes will play out in their game. I mean, can you imagine that being able? I mean, the game we're making. We cannot necessarily do that, but my God, they have the opportunity just to go out there in Zocalo and all these historic places in Mexico City and just go like, here we're gonna do this, here we're gonna do that. I think that's really really cool to work on something like that is really amazing.
And to see them incorporate that into the gameplay too, where you have your camera and then the scene plays out. I think that was gorgeous.
But that's only part of the challenge. According to the team Macula Interactive, launching the game was one of the hardest thing to do. And I got a quote from what she told us that it really stick to me, and I'm gonna start using it on my conferences from now on because it's so amazing. Is you already once you finish the game and you start from launching, it comes to like a person running a marathon. You already run 40 kilometers with your legs. The last 2 kilometers, you run them with your heart.
Ooh.
That's freaking amazing.
And
I
it
really
was
love that.
first game. Imagine what else you can create.
Oh my gosh, their first game. Wow. That's how big is the team? Do you know? That's a great project.
Here, if you can tell us on the shop channel how big is your team.
Yeah.
But
you know what is also really cool that the lead was a woman.
Hell yes. We need more.
Yes. And she mentions that creativity was key for them. I mean, we keep talking about every once in a while indie developers sure go small, but I think you cannot think small. I mean, I agree with Paola when she said that we just thought about creativity and getting the best game out there we can with our they say they're 8 people in the team, Jakin, without them limiting themselves whether they were going to go small or big. They just try to make the best game they could, and that's what any developer should be doing. There's no point in telling ourselves that we're new, we should go small. No, just go as big as you can, but be realistic about your capabilities, your resources, your team. I mean, you cannot just go out there and say, I'm going to make the next Halo. Yeah, I mean, you can think big in that regard. You got to be very realistic about what you have in front of you. But it's never about thinking small. It's more about being a good strategist and how you're going to build your game or your project or your dream on what we already have. And it's all about putting brick by brick, and all of a sudden you're going to have a huge wall, right? So it's not about, I want to make a huge wall. Just start putting brick by brick. That's all you have to do. And then we get this.
8 people. And they are asking if you kindly could wish list their game. I already sent a key to Jakin so he can talk about it because I know that he loves to play games and he has his own Discord channel and maybe invite people.
Yes, I would be happy to. I mean, that's right up my alley with the kind of games I love. So any game that is rooted in history or pulls on history or politics, socio-political issues. I mean, as a sociologist, that's like.
You love that, right?
Yes.
Are you going to DICE next month, or you're not, or you're going to
GDC? Yeah, I'll be at DICE next month. And then
so I'll see you next month. I'm gonna be at DICE.
Oh, awesome, perfect! I can't wait. Bree, what about you? Will you be at DICE in Las Vegas?
I tell her every single year that, from my perspective, that is the event you gotta go. You want to make decision makers, not GDC. Yeah. I mean, GDC has its good things, but in terms of money people and decision makers, that's DICE.
Oh, they say that they would love to hear what you think, Jakin, about Mexico 2021.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to play it. But yeah, back to something you said, Hugo, that really stood out to me with the idea of go with, what you have in mind. Don't worry too much about if it's too big or too small.
Yeah.
Definitely understand your capabilities, but part of that that statement that you read at the beginning about, the first miles are with your feet, the next ones are with your heart. If you don't have that, if you don't have enough passion and care for the project that you're working on, I personally, I can't keep up with a project if I don't have enough. It's got to be like a certain level of passion and care that I have to have. And if the idea is scaled back too much, I might lose that. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm really glad you said that.
Yeah, you can only go so far with your body, with your physique. To get to the end, you need your heart, you need your passion, you need your everything, just your whole soul. So yeah, I really like this game. And just one more quote that Paula said is that us as Mexican developers, we got a great responsibility to present our country in a very, very important industry that is the video game development industry. I mean, I think if not all of our Mexican developers, most of the Mexican developers understand that responsibility, that everything we do as a Mexican developers affects our country, good or bad. So that is a huge responsibility, considering that our country, our industry in Mexico, is growing really, really fast, but we're still a growing and emerging market in terms of development, not consumers, but in terms of development. We're an emerging market. And the people that we are currently in the industry, we have that responsibility to be good developers, to be good people, not just good developers, to co-develop with each other, to work with each other, to help each other. It's not just about I want to be. There's a joke in the group that we have. I'm gonna be the first Mexican developer to do this, and of course we love that. That's we just laugh about it and have fun with it. But in the end, it's about all working together to make this industry the biggest, the most important. At least first Latin America. Let's beat Brazil, then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Right? Did I say that out loud?
You did. You did.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. Sorry.
Don't do that. So, what do you think that, for example, many people don't really know what IGD is? It's like in all of the things that they do, what they do, because some of them are really young and really new into the industry. So it would be very nice if you could tell them what is the advantage to be part of the IGDA, particularly for these kind of things. For example, Sketchy Ceviche, that he's so far away, and maybe connecting to other people would be hard.
Yeah, so there's so many benefits to IGDA. I use an acronym and I just call it GAMES. So IGDA, when you join IGDA, it's a professional association of game developers. So by joining IGDA, you're already joining the ranks of people who've been in the industry from 1 year to 30 years. I mean, we're a 30-year-old organization. So we have people who've been part of IGDA, still in the organization since the beginning. And when you join, you gain so many things. So you get access to a global network of other game developers. If when Hugo's mentioned that, like, you want to be maybe the first Mexican developer who did this, well, talk to a developer who's done that, but in another region. And you can do that in IGDA by connecting to so many developers around the world, depending on who it is you're looking for, what region you're looking to connect with. Access to member benefits like discounts to events like GDC or DICE, access to member-only webinars or parties or mixers that the IGDA hosts at various events around the world. Mentorship, if you want to do something for the first time, find a mentor, or if it's something that's out of your skill level currently, or maybe you just don't have a lot of experience, the best thing you can do is find someone who can take you by the hand and lift you up, whether that's through reviewing your work and giving you critical feedback. It could be, monthly touch bases while you work on your skill set. Whatever that mentorship piece looks like to you, you can really formulate that for yourself with the mentors that we have available at IGDA. We also do a lot of educational and advocacy-based work. So we put on a lot of best practices, data about the industry, like game developers, demographics, issues or challenges that people face in their jobs, things like that. But we also do things like best practices for game design or for programming, or where to start your programming journey if you're not a programmer. We're actually working right now on some new starter kits. For one is our main one is for design. So if you just want to kind of get started with more design topics or principles, we'll be releasing that probably within the next month or so. And then also webinars. We host a lot of webinars with, talks similar to this, maybe with marketing specialist or community specialist on how to up your game in marketing your game, or how to build a stronger community around your game, so that when you do launch, you're not launching to an empty void and just speaking out into the space. You're actually launching. Exactly. And then finally, we have solidarity among game developers. So we have chapters and special interest groups of IGDA all around the world. As you all know, you lead chapters in Mexico. And that's where you can really get connected and plugged in. If you want to start a chapter, or if you want to join a chapter, that's like the local way you participate in IGDA. But for special interest groups, that's global. So if you're a designer, or if you're an engineer and you want to talk to other designers or engineers, or if you're interested in learning more about localization, we have a localization special interest group. There's so many ways you can get involved. But my favorite thing is we also have groups for communities that have been underrepresented in game development. Latinx in games, we have women in games, we have pretty much everything in games that you can think of. We have a community for it. So
solo in games.
What was that?
We're talking to you. Solo in games.
Solo, okay, there you go. We got it all. I think the latest one we just started was the neurodivergent in games.
Oh my God, we're all neurodivergent. What are you talking about?
That's why it's a big group.
Yeah, everyone.
I think we are all ADHD on the gaming community.
Yeah,
ADHD,
and then
something like
that. Probably. And then real quick, before I forget, we also have our studio affiliate way to get involved. So as a studio, so you can get involved as a member. If you join IGDA as a studio, you get all of those things. Plus, we help promote your game. We help market your game by our own distribution channels, our own marketing channels. We provide you additional resources, access to like webinars that we only provide to our studio affiliates. If you're ever looking to hire in the US, let's say your studio starts an office in the US and you need to hire international talent, we can write visa letters. There's a lot of benefits that we provide to studios who join IGDA as well. And I can send y'all a link in chat.
Please do. Nice. And we can also share it on the Taco Tuesday.
Oh, perfect.
Links, so they can keep it there. Because many people approach to us like asking what's the benefits to be part of the IGDA, but hearing it from you, I think it makes way more sense because, well, you are the executive director.
Good.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer of Dim before we're not out of time, so we have enough time to talk about that game. 'Cause I really like that game.
It's really pretty.
Nice.
So cool. The way you have to make a game like that feel so good and natural is very hard. So kudos to the team for making that happen. It's a beautiful game.
It's very
Nice.
philosophical because it's about finding the light for your soul. So when you lose it, because it's dim, so you have to grab that light to keep on going. It's kind of when he told me the concept, I was whoa. I really
That's
love it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Luis. He's the director. Of course, he's a colleague. He's from Baja California, and whenever you talk to him, it's like he's very quiet, but when he speaks, then you understand why he's so quiet. He only speaks to say really interesting things. He's very
Yeah.
philosophical. He's so into himself in terms of I don't know. It's just his whole guru vibe of Luis. I really
He
like
looks
him,
like John
and I'm
Lennon.
so glad that released the game. It's been taking him like 6 years to release the game. And
Wow.
I remember the first time I actually saw the game was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I kept telling him, dude, where are you going to release your game? And he always said like, yeah, soon. And then 4 years later, he finally released the game, and I really hope he does great with it because I know he's been working so hard for it. And the whole philosophical metaphysics side of the game, I really like it.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that was like at the point of the game, because when I was reviewing the game before the stream, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like this game has to have such deeper meaning about something along those lines, like really truly finding the light within, especially during dark times. And
Oh yeah,
I think
Right
many
now.
people can relate to that right now, with such constant geopolitical issues, just issues all around in terms of environment and
oh
everything.
yeah. Wars, politics, economics. I mean, you name it. You name a topic, and we have issues on that topic.
We can make another Taco Tuesday. It's gonna be called Depressive Taco Tuesday.
A depressive Taco Tuesday.
No,
With
we don't wanna
soggy
do that.
tortillas,
We don't wanna do that.
and
We're all about
Yes.
happiness. We're game developers. We're never sad.
No, we're never, because we're always
Are we?
drunk or something,
Anyways.
or farming or developing. I know we have 5 minutes, Ivan. I'm sorry. We're
We
trying.
got yeah.
I
Always
also wanted to
Dad
say
calling
I
us.
love the music in the game too. So I think it was Tomas Espejel was
Yes, yeah.
great music. Of course, everything about it is fantastic, but that really stood out too because it really centers you on the experience, I think. And
Yeah.
when music can bring you and ground you, that's very good.
And it's a hard game. I remember seeing a lot of
Yes.
people when we were showing this game at GamaCon, and people took a while to figure out the mechanics, but when they will figure it out, they were having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I told my business partner, like, hey, play this part, and then I continue playing because
Yeah, there's a really cool story in the development of Deem that the whole things, and this is a great thing about being an indie developer, right? When you have to figure it out, the things to keep moving forward. And there was this time where they wanted to do breaking glass effects, sound effects. So instead of going to an asset store and get all this sounds that has to do with breaking glass, they went to Luis's backyard office, and then they brought a mic and start breaking glass.
Oh my God.
And
I
then
wanted to do that.
they're way afraid because the neighbors were starting to look, like maybe they were killing someone or doing something illegal. So they were just excited about getting all these effects, but they were very worried that somebody will call the cops and stop whatever they were doing, right? So, and those are the amazing stories that you get from indie developers in how you make games, like all these little things, these little details that makes some of the stories so unique when you're an indie developer.
But also makes community, right? Because you talk about the things that no one sees. Like you would never imagine that when you crash that in they were crashing glass in Luis's house.
That's dedication. When you create your own like foliage to like make that happen, or it's folly. Yeah, I can't. The name is escaping me. But yeah, good for them for doing that. I would also be scared people would look at me very funny and be like, "Why is that person breaking glass?"
I mean, of course. I mean, if the cops will arrive, they can just explain what we're doing, but it will be a very interesting, cool story. So we're almost at the end of the show. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Jakin, for taking your time to be here. Thank you,
Thank you for inviting me.
Mom. Thank you, Jacobo, to be the Superman behind the screen, the cameras. Thanks everyone. Let's one last time, let's borrow the QR codes on screen if we can, Jacobo. So please wish list the games. The most important thing about doing this is for you to go and wish list the games and buy them, play them, support our Mexican industry. That's why we make tacos for you, so you go and play Mexican games. I mean, it's a fair deal, right? We teach you how to make good Mexican tacos, and you help us by at least wish listing all the Mexican games that we show to you.
And
So
we
thank you.
introduce you to really VIP people who's really cool and hip and all that, and you can find them.
Jakin is definitely a VIP.
And you can
Y'all are
always
too
say
nice.
hi, like I saw your Taco Tuesday, and then he was, oh yes, I did it.
Yes.
I feel obligated to tell your nickname, Jakin, but I won't.
No, you could. My nickname is open and free because I'm curious which nickname is it.
The enemy of the end.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
In Brazil, they call us enemigos do fim.
Oh my god,
Which
I
is
love
the
the
enemy of the end
glasses.
because we just wanted to keep. Well, Jakin wanted to keep partying and just meeting people and having fun with his friends. So yeah, he's the enemy
He's
of the
always the popular boy in the parties. You can never approach to him because he has like this entourage.
Oh, I don't know about
He will
that.
just bless you and continue to the next one because he's so busy.
Y'all are VIPs to me, so thank you so much for having me on the show, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Thank you,
Thank
Jakin.
you.
Thank you, Bricia. Thank you, everyone, to
We will
join
also
us
add
this every
the
Tuesday.
IGDA link so people who wants to join us to this super cool chapter, you can join.
Yes. Thank you.
Gracias, Jacobo.
Gracias, Jacobo.
Thank
Love
you.
Thank you, guys. Salud.
Salud.
Cheers. I almost finished it. Yeah.
Oh, there you are. You help over here.